does all the budget. And, I mean, we trust him, we pay him for that.
You ready? Mr. Kazmark, will you call the meeting to order, please?
Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for January 3rd, 2013 to order at 8:04 p.m. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Here.
Conboy.
Here.
Pettigano.
Here.
Monsino.
Here.
Coletti.
Here.
Mayor Mola.
Here.
We
Will
have a
everyone
quorum.
please rise for our prayer and flag salute? O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting with your trust of your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and plant in and reiterate a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Law of the State of New Jersey requires at the commencement of each meeting a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements of this meeting have been met by posting an annual notice in the Record of Packets Act, the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice has been posted on January 1, 2013.
Mayor, this evening, under the approval of minutes, we have the work session from December 13th, 2012, and the regular meeting from December 20th, 2012.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Voncino, second.
Second.
Mr. Coletti, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Mayor, this evening, under ordinances on first reading, we have Resolution 18-13, introduce ordinance 13-1 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Traffic by amending Sections 7-11 and 7-14.1 thereof be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, January 17th, 2013 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Voncino, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Coletti. Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. Just one point I'd like to make about this ordinance. This pertains to Orange Avenue. If you recall, last year we changed parking, make it a little bit less restrictive in that section of town. We had left off Orange. Going back now, since we introduced an alternate side, we're able to do alternate side there 24 hours a day. So we'll do part of the week one side, the other part of the week the other side. Thank you, Mayor.
Anything else?
Yes, Mayor, I think I read over the ordinance, yesterday when I got it in the package. I had thought that it was the first block of Orange between Broadway and Magnolia, the same as the other three streets. To read the ordinance, it sounds like it's all of Orange Avenue all the way down to Willow. I didn't think that that's what we had worked on. Am I right in that?
It's, if I may, Mayor, through you.
Yeah.
It does read the entire street. I did not hear in that conversation at the work session that it was to be limited. You could certainly add that now during introduction,
Right.
And then it won't have to be republished, if you wanted to do that.
Why don't you move that? It'll go from Magnolia,
So the balance would be, what's it read now? It reads now that it's,
the whole street, all the way down to Willow.
no, what's
I
the...
think it's 2 hours.
2
It's
hours,
2
the
hour
whole
parking.
street is 2 hour
Yes.
parking? I don't know why we have to be restricted the 2 hours beyond 1 block from
Let
Route 4.
them park the way they do now, further down. It's no problem down there.
The,
We're doing it on every other street. We're doing it on every other street. We go from Magnolia to Route 4.
This is-
On all the other streets, we should continue the same
Where do we see
thing.
2 hour parking on?
It's,
No, that's the
I thought it was all
present.
side parking, just like the other three streets.
No, I'm talking about the present ordinance.
Oh,
where
right now. Oh,
under,
okay.
yes, 7-11, which is being, that
Yeah.
street, Orange Avenue is being deleted
was a-
from 7-11. That's the 2 hour parking section.
All right,
I
so this
don't
just
know if there's
pertains
a
to that same
limitation.
section.
I'm sorry?
So this just pertains to that same section from Broadway to
No, it's eliminating Orange from the 2-hour and
It's so
making it
confusing.
simply alternate side.
The 2-hour is only up to Magnolia, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. The same as Florence, Bellevue, and Elizabeth.
Yeah, the 2-hour parking is only up to Magnolia Street. Or it's not Magnolia, on Florence, it's St. Anne's, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, on Florence.
And
the
what
same.
happens after St. Anne's?
They park any time, and there's no time
Right,
restriction.
so I think this should stay the way it is then. Why would we limit it to just the one block if we're doing alternate?
Because
You want to leave it completely
We're
right
just
now there's a
matching it up with
2-hour.
all the other blocks.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
If you want to review this, we could maybe table it. Rather than try and work without the information.
Okay.
All right.
We could table it and talk about it next.
You
Yeah,
making
'cause I
that
don't remember
motion?
I'll make a
the whole
motion to
street,
table.
the whole
Mr.
block.
Boncino makes a motion to table, second by Mr. Coletti. Any discussion? No discussion, I'm sorry, call a roll.
On roll call to table Resolution 18-13, introduce ordinance 13-1 on first reading. Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Pagano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion to table passes. Mayor, this evening under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 19-13, payment of bills, Resolution 20-13, confirmation of checks, Resolution 20-13, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 22-13, appointment of police towers, Resolution 23-13, HARP agreement for public health services, Resolution 24-13, appointment of public agency compliance officer, Resolution 25-13, appointment of licensed water operator, the Block Environmental Services. Resolution 26-13, appointment of licensed sewer operator, the Block Environmental Services. Resolution 27-13, appointment of municipal planner, Corker and Corker LLC. Resolution 28-13, authorized execution of Bergen County Animal Control contract. And Resolution 29-13, redeem third-party tax lien.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second?
Castiglia.
I was looking at Caramagna. Castiglia, second by who?
Conboy.
Mr. Conboy. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Patagano.
Yes.
Monsino.
Yes.
Coletti. Coletti.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sorry, fell asleep.
Okay. Under appointments to various boards and mandated resolutions, this evening we have to the Borough Council. I hereby nominate and with your advice and consent appoint Arlene Levine to the Board of Health for a period of 3 years, term ending December 31st, 2015. Respectfully submitted, Richard A. Mola, Mayor. Resolution 30-13, appointment of Board of Health member. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the appointment of Arlene Levine to the Board of Health for a period of 3 years, term ending December 31st, 2015 be, and the same is hereby confirmed.
Motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to table this, this resolution, and at this time, if I'm not permitted to, I'd also like to ask to table all four, 29, 30, 31, and 32, which are all appointments to various boards, for further discussion at our next week's work meeting, and I'd like to extend an invitation to each of these individuals to come in for 5 minutes or so and meet with the entire governing body, discuss the future of these boards and so forth, a lot of other topics at the same time.
Mayor, through you, Councilman, we've already adopted Resolution 29-13, so I'm just going to assume the tabling motion would be 30 through 33.
No, it'd be all of them, I'm sorry.
No,
We didn't get a motion yet.
No, he's just correcting your
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tabling
Oh, it's not
29
30?
was adopted as part of the consent agenda. I just want to clarify the numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry, the numbers changed, I'm sorry.
30 through 33.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. I forgot to look at my iPad, I apologize.
I can find it.
I apologize, you're correct. 30, 31, 32, and 33.
Okay, thank you.
Motion's on the table made by Mr. Conboy, second.
second.
Second by Mr. Boncino. Any discussion? I think you know everybody on here. I think you know where they're going. This is unprecedented, and I think that these people are doing a great job. That's why I appointed them. Call the roll, please.
Yeah, well, I'd like to make a comment then. I was gonna hold off to the end then. I'll make some here there. I have no disagreement in anything the mayor just said. I'm sure these people are all who he says they are. And unprecedented, maybe, but we're also in a very different time. Over this course of this last 12 months, and no due respect to my colleague here, Councilman Catamanga, who was absent and returned after 12 months, and Glenn Panagano, Councilman Panagano, who's joined the council this year. Over this 12-month period, a lot has been happening here during the work sessions and throughout our government. A lot of things that we have explored to do, many different initiatives and so forth, and things that have come to light to all of us that are currently on, that were here during the 2012, of different restrictions and different parameters that we have as councilmen. We're elected by the people of Elmwood Park, all 20,000 plus, whether they voted or not. We're elected by them, and we have a right to do some due diligence. I have all faith in the world that all these candidates are all wonderful candidates. That's not what this is about. What it is about, though, is as we discuss things in the work sessions and we discuss strategies and different things on how to take the borough to the next level and working with a 2% cap, being fiscally responsible, keeping, as you heard Councilman Roncino talk about, one thing we're going to take an endeavor that's never been done before, which is unprecedented, is looking and evaluating employees here and putting in some standards so that people could be properly rewarded or whatever it may be during evaluation periods. So that's something we've never done as a borough. And I know, believe me, some say you're a politician. I guess I haven't learned that side of it yet. I'm just trying to do what I think is best for the municipality and for me. For me to find out if my colleagues don't, if they feel differently after next week, maybe all these folks get reappointed. But there are some challenging things on some of these boards, and I think it's important that we understand where we're going as these people get appointed and what their feelings are of the board. I thought this was very positive, just so everyone says this is new or this is unprecedented. This is in no way any disrespect to anybody on this dais or for the gentleman who's been our outstanding mayor for going on 40-plus years. But we did this last year with a person that get appointed to a board, and onto the library board, and we found out some interesting things. For example, the person spends a lot of time and is a frequent user of the Ridgewood Library. And we learned from him some of the things he thinks that our library lacks and that he'd like to bring to our library. Nobody here had ever met this gentleman, and I think he only lives in Elmwood Park. I think it's about 5 years. I could be wrong about the number of years in Elmwood Park, but he certainly hasn't been here a long time. And he had a lot of good things to say, a lot of good ideas, and we appointed him. I don't think there's anything wrong with going through this process. And that's just how I feel. It's no disrespect to any of the people on this list. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
If I may, Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. Considering what our good mayor has said about these people, and I know these people pretty well myself, they're all quality people, and their appointment to these various boards, it wouldn't hurt for us, especially if there's some consideration by a councilman or councilmen, plural, who want and have some questions for these people, or just a discussion amongst ourselves is not going to hurt to wait 2 weeks so that we all come up here unified as opposed to left with questions in our mind.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mayor. I seconded the motion made by Councilman Conboy. As he said, it's an opportunity for us to do our due diligence. We know all the people that are on this list here. But the terms 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, we want to try and look down the road and see where we want to take the borough. And so we'd like to try and see where they align, how they align with our thoughts. And again, it would only be a couple of weeks, and we don't think it would impact the function of the boards, and it would be a smart thing to do so we can put our best foot forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else? I would just like to indicate just the first two, Arlene Levine and Julie McCauley, Board of Health. They were responsible for getting Lodi into our Board of Health and Saddlebrook into our Board of Health. We're picking up close to $80,000 through their effort. Certainly they should be reappointed just for that. No one's opposed to that. Call a roll.
On roll call to table resolution.
Oh, excuse me, and these are all volunteers. So, call a roll.
On the tabling motion for R3013 through R3313, council members Catamagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
No.
Conboy,
Yes.
Pettigano,
Yes.
Lonsino,
Yes.
Coletti.
Yes.
Motion to table carries. Mayor, that concludes the voting portion of the meeting.
Committee reports, Mr. Catamagna.
Yes, Mayor. Last night I attended the Board of Education reorganization meeting. It was interesting, it was nice. Some nice bunch of people there, and looks very happy to new people to be on board. And I hope they do a good job, or maybe better job than been doing. They elect President Di Matteo. Doug Di Matteo is the president of the Board of Education. I hope they, again, we will have new ideas in. I hope they work all together, and I hope the Board of Education will work with the Board of Recreation, as I said before, mainly for our kids, because our kids are our future. I repeat that again. And I'm sure, I feel confident that the three new people will do a great job. And I just want to congratulate them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Conboy?
You know, Frank, if it's okay with you, I don't mind asking Larry if he wants to switch, because you always get to go first now, because I got to go second. I'm not usually ready to go second.
And when I vote, you better agree with me now.
Oh, well, that's another story. Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things I'd like to report on. Today I had a lengthy conference call with our CFO. To my knowledge, I'm still serving as finance chair. I hope that continues in all my appointments. But we had a very good meeting. I'm happy to report, as we went over our finances, that a lot of the things that we put into place some time ago are really now coming through fruition. They're working. And what I'm referring to is when I first came on council 5 years ago, I was finance chair, and I worked closely with the finance committee, the mayor and council, and our CFO and our borough clerk to rein in his expenses. I'm not going to go through them all, but regarding the department-wise, there were some areas that we needed to tighten up. And one of the greatest things was we did our best, and almost to this day, and now for some time, it wasn't just this year alone, again, with the continuous work that goes on here daily between our borough clerk and our CFO and all the department heads, all of our departments are going to pretty much finish in the black unless something terribly happens. But we are going to, I'm very proud of the fact, and the finance committee should be proud as well, I haven't had a chance to share it with them, that we are going to come in a lot of ways very positive in the black, which is a good thing because it helps balance everything we do here in the budget. I was also informed by our CFO that he received, I believe today, if not today, yesterday I believe, he received, and again, sometimes government takes time, as we've all seen with the fiscal cliff. God knows what's going to happen with our money for Sandy relief and how much of it's really coming to our state and got to go to other projects. But we just got this week our full reimbursement of all of our expenses that the borough put out for Hurricane Irene. So that was last year. So it takes time, but we did. I want to thank everyone who worked on that. All the department heads chipped in. There's a lengthy process that goes through, a lot of paperwork. A lot of it falls on our DPW superintendent, Scott Cars, as well as our borough clerk and CFO to get all that paperwork in. It's just not just fill in the blanks here and it's one sheet. It's a lengthy process, and their hard work paid off because the borough got reimbursed 100%. Again, I'd like to just comment on some things. We've had a lot of things that we worked on here on the governing body. In other areas, too, we're also working very positively. Our department of building department, sometimes you may hear the criticism, and maybe from this own dais or from other sides of the aisles or whatever, well, he's only part-time. Our building inspector has that, which is a shared service that we worked on. Councilman Chewinski took the lead on, and we brought that into the borough, made a lot of changes there, streamlined a lot of things. He cleaned up that department. That department had a building in this town and permits in this town are up. They did a phenomenal job. He'll submit his own report. But in revenue, he came way above expectations, and I know it's working out very well for our community, as well as the work that has been done down over at the Board of Health. You know, a perfect example, I would like to point out, the mayor led into it there at the end. I didn't want to comment right back after that, but I will. Perfect example would be shared services. I'm going to tell the public here on camera and those that are sitting here in the audience, the 5 of you, getting the Board of Health shared service through was not exactly easy peasy. And not that these, in no shape or form, am I referring to these two individuals at all. When we went through that process, it was quite a fight. And I'm glad that they've expanded it. I've condemned them for what they've, thanked them for everything that they've done here publicly and in the back room. They've done a great job expanding it. I'm for sure was sure for Saddlebrook, and they felt comfortable in expanding it. But again, you know, when we look at these things, one of the things that got thrown back to us, not just more than once, well, we don't really have to listen to you, and if we don't want to do the shared service, we don't have to. And that's not just from one particular person. That was the tone that was thrown back at us in the very early stages. So again, I don't bring that out to be confrontational. I'm just trying to share with the folks why I feel this process should be more streamlined than what we're trying to do here. You know, maybe there should be term limits for these different, the motion I made to table these appointments. You know, maybe it should be any more boards unless it's state mandated, and there should be advisory boards. Not to hurt these individuals, but we shouldn't feel handcuffed here or have to, you know, shape things so that we get acceptable agreements from a board that we think this is at the end of the day, you elected us to act in the best interest of the borough. So I also like one of the comments I want to make on recreation, going over with Roy today, our CFO. The recreation department's done a phenomenal job. From a department, our rec director, Ms. Pugliese, took over the department that had many line items in the red. They're all, thank God, just over the black. We're not looking to make it a profit center. That's not what it's about. Recreation's all about our community, our town, and the children. But everything is in the black. Programs are starting to flourish again. Over the last several months, I'm proud of the work that I've been able to do behind the scenes with our Dr. Tomko and loosening up some of the chains. I know that some of the board members that got onto the Board of Ed, some are very involved in our recreation sports, and I hope that they bring that back to the board. I know this month, if I'm not mistaken, or it's going to be rescheduled, the rec board has invited Dr. Tomko to come in and discuss more working together. I think we've shown how we're working better together through the rec and the rec commission, based by the fact this year our basketball teams are practicing in the schools. They've opened up the doors, they've waived fees that are involved. That could be somewhere in $9,000 to $10,000 range. Those fees are gone. The kids are back having practice, not just once a week, but multiple times a week. And I think that's all the beginning of a ball that's starting to roll. And since he's here in the audience, Mr. Bob Calabro serves on our rec board. His term just expired on the stroke of midnight. I hope he does get reappointed. There is 2 appointments to the rec board that the mayor has to make. Those are his appointments. And I hope he does return Bob back. Bob gives out, since he's here, I'm going to take the opportunity to tell everyone, he takes hours out of work, his own personal time, gives up his own personal vacation days to go to rec meetings during the day to help our rec director, goes out and gets bids, secure things. He's there. He has no more children involved in the programs. His children are now older, college, some getting even married. His one daughter's already had his first grandchild. But Bob does it for the love of the kids and when he commits to the rec board. And that's rare. As a volunteer, that's rare, to give up your own personal vacation days to go to a meeting that is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll take a half day to go to it. The other person that's also up, whether or not he gets reappointed, is the current chairman, Rich DiLorenzo. I hope he also gets reappointed. These 2 men, along with the whole commission, but these 2 men are 2 workhorses on that commission. They're not afraid to take on the battles and give up extra time. Again, neither one of them, both volunteers, neither one of them have any children involved in the programs, but are dedicated to the community and to the town. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Valentino.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Just a real brief update on our police department. At our reorganization meeting, I alluded to some of the additions we made in 2012. At our February meeting, we're planning to swear in a 3rd officer, Officer Christopher Finn. He's a replacement for a recent resignation that we had in the department. We are also bringing on the 3 new dispatchers. We'll have 4 dispatchers, and that will alleviate some of the load and get some more officers out of the building and out on the street on patrol. So that's a positive step we're making. And we're all doing this in line with the table of organization that we put together. And we'll talking to Chief Johnson, we should be in a position at the February 7th meeting to fill the remaining sergeant's spot. And we'll discuss that more at our meeting next week. And then right after that, shortly after that, we should be able to fill the captain's positions. So look forward to working with Chief Johnson and the rest of the mayor and council to get that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Castiglia.
Yes, sure, Mayor. We had a work meeting last night on the planning board. There's a company called Garden State Glass, which is considering taking a spot on Midland Avenue, where E&S Foods used to be. This is the type of business that does glass for storefronts and big projects. It's mostly commercial. It's not going to be any walk-in trade, and most of their work that they do, the fabrication that they do, most of it is done at the site of the installation. So there won't be a lot of construction going on there. They're coming in next week to the public meeting. Also, I wanted to mention, that was the only application we had. I also wanted to mention, everybody knows the last part of 2012, weather-wise, was a nightmare for residents here and throughout the state. Once again, I want to thank our DPW and all our emergency services. These people were out there right in the thick of everything that was going on, and they did everything that we needed them to do. So I want to thank them one more time for that, Mayor. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much. I would be happy in the future to give very thorough reports. Unfortunately, this evening I do not have a report. I was just informed that I would be taking the Board of Health, and I would be happy to take care of things the rest of the year and, give you very, very good reports.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Coletti.
Mine is very short, Mayor. There's not too much to say, being that we had a meeting 2 days ago. And I've learned as the years have gone by, when you don't have anything to say, don't say it.
Thank you. On my report, I'd just like to make a comment in relation to some of the people who were on my selection to go on the boards. The state has indicated that these boards be autonomous, the Board of Health, the Library Board. The reason for that is so that the council doesn't have to pressure them into doing what they want them to do. They can look at things in their own departments and vote the way they feel fit without being intimidated. And these people have all been individuals who have worked for the community over the years. In my estimation, they have done an excellent job, and that's why I've nominated them. And I would hope that they would all, Tim Mooney on the library board, we all know him. As a matter of fact, he's very much involved in the community, has been involved for many years. To have him come in and be embarrassed by coming in, I think is wrong. But if the council wants to do that, then we'll have them come in and speak to us, and then they can vote how they choose to see fit. Other than that, that concludes my report. Mr. Giblin? No report, man. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone in the audience who has anything that you want to contribute? If not, I will close the public portion of the meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Wow.
Who's on the right?
Conboy and Coletti.
Any second?
Second.
Coletti. All in favor?
Aye.